Hello viewers, my name is Raza and today we'll be learning how to work in the QuickBooks for the banking transactions. That includes creating or editing any bank account or credit card account in the chart of account. Chart of account is a place in the QuickBook where we are updating all of our balance sheet and income statement items. Let's say the expenses, the income and cost of goods sold, equity, assets, liabilities, all of these items that we are working with in the balance sheet or income statement are part of our chart of account. So we'll be learning how to add any account in the chart of account. Then we will be learning in the QuickBook that how to transfer funds from one account to another. We'll be learning how to record deposits. We'll learn how to check our different transactions in the statement, how to record cash receipt, how to make payment using debit card, how to make payment using credit card, how to make a refund of credit card transaction, making payment using writing checks and printing the checks, and also just in case if we receive a payment through a check, then how to make the check as like and the check is bounced, so how to update it in our QuickBook. And after all of these type of transaction, we're learning how to reconcile any of our account. So this is the agenda of today's class, so let's start learning. So when we are logged into our QuickBook, this is our home screen. So in the home screen, we have, if we want to do a transaction or if we want to add any account in our regarding our assets, liabilities, income, expense, equity, or cost of goods sold. If any of these items that we want to add in our like chart of account, we have to go to chart of account first. And in this one, we have three ways of doing the transaction. The first one is click the edit button here, and then you can see we can add a new account, edit an existing account, delete the account, or make the account inactive. So all of these options about the accounting is here. We can also use the tab here and then in the downside here, and then we can either select new account or edit account or delete account from this place, or we can use the right click, and then we can do all the three things from here as well, like creating a new account or editing an existing account or delete the account. So all of these things are possible from or any of these three options. So let's say we go with the edit tab, which is available here on the tab on the top of the screen, and then we can go with the new account. So the first thing we are learning here is how to create a new account uh, in the QuickBooks. So once you open a physical account in the bank, and now you have the information available for that account. Now you are coming back to your office and you are updating the account in your QuickBooks. So first thing you're doing here is selecting the new account, and then you have to select what type of account it is. If it's a bank, then you have to update it here. Like in the checking account, savings account, you can update it here. If you have taken a loan from the bank, then the loan will be updated from this place. If you have taken a credit card from the bank, then credit card will be updated in this place. So we are updating a new account. Let's say we are opening a new account in our QuickBook as a savings account. So we'll select the bank, and you can see these type of accounts are part of our bank account. Then you can click continue. And now you can update the name, number of the bank. Let's say any of the number that you have, your company has already given to the two different banks. So you have to select the number which is different from them. Right now, I don't. Let's see if I am giving this a number 2212. I think the checking account I already have has number 10,000. So I'm just trying to find some number which is not contradicting any of the other accounts. So I'm just making this number as 10,100 so that it is a little bit different than the previous one. And then let's say I want to do this transaction with an account name uh, as a checking account. And this account is, let's say if I have this account with Wells Fargo or let's say Citibank, so I can type the name of the bank before it so that I don't have to open the entire account and then try to search for the name. I can just simply type the name of the bank with my checking account so that I can see it directly from the screen that which account I'm working with. Or it could be Bank of America. So you can select any of the name and then can continue. And then let's say we can type it. This is our this checking account we will be using for, let's say, for salary payment to the staff. You can type a salary account. So everybody, we know that whenever we are paying our salaries to our staff, we'll be using this account. And then let's say the account number is 123456789 and if we have only this information available, we can type it here. If we have the opening balance available, we can also type here enter opening balance. Here we can insert the value of the amount that we have deposited when we open the account and the date on which we open the account, or the date if the account is already open, you are only updating the detail about like previously you were working with the general ledgers or registers manually. Now you are updating it in the QuickBooks, so you can also put the date from which date you want to update this data. Let's say on the 1st of January, the balance was $1,000. So you can type here 1,000 and 31st of December 2020, the balance was there. Why we are not putting the exact date, the start of the accounting? Because let's say if you update it as of 1st of January, and on the same day if you do 2 or 3 transactions, so whatever the balance was will be disturbed. So we always take one day before so that we can have the actual balance, ending balance available, and from the next day we can start doing the transaction. So right now we are not updating anything here. We can just simply, I was just trying to show you that how you can update it. Once it is all done, simply say save and close, and the account is saved. So here it comes. If your company is using the bank feeds from using the QuickBooks services, then you can select yes. Then it will be asking you for the name of the bank and other details so that system can link your QuickBook with your bank. But right now we are not doing that transaction, so I just select no, and that's how you can create a bank account in the QuickBook. You can see the Bank of America check account is ready for doing the transaction. So now let's start working with one more transaction. Let's say if you want to edit any transaction or add a credit card account. So if I want to add a credit card account, I can simply go to edit tab here and select new exactly the same way, or I can go to account here and click the new from here, or I can right click and select the new account. So all the 3 ways will work. So let me again add another account, but this time I'll be creating a credit card account. So credit card account, you can see here specifically mentioned separately. Why? Because this account is part of our assets and this account is part of our liabilities, because in credit card, if there's a balance, you have to pay to the credit card company. So now I start working with the credit card account. Click continue. And then let's say the account number is 21,000. The name of the account, the name of this credit card is, let's say, Riverbank Visa. And the description is company credit card. And the card number is 45551232, 4 times 2, and 2 times 30, and 2 times 45. So once you have updated the card number, again, if you have any outstanding balance as of such and such date, you can update it here. But let's say if you don't have any transaction pending or any amount due, you can just simply say save and close. Okay, so let me change the account number because it says account number is already in use. 46, save and close. Oh, so this account number which I have taken here is already taken. So let me change this number. Let me see. Yeah, this account is already taken. So let me change the account number here. Let's say 21,100. So this account is already done. So now we can update the data properly here. 123430304545, and then you can update the opening balance and the date on which the balance is pertaining to the date. You can put the amount and the date here, and then simply say save and close. And now you can see, of course, we're selecting no because right now we are doing the dummy transactions. But just in case if your company is using the online feeds from the bank, you can use this service from the QuickBook. But right now for this exercise, we are selecting it as a no. And here you can see we have created one credit card account, which is Riverbank Visa. So now we will be working. Let's say if I want to edit any transaction. So let's say if I already have a bank account and I want to edit the detail about that bank account. So we'll be doing it with the savings account. So let's say this is our savings account that we want to update. So what we can do is if I want to edit any transaction, I can go to edit tab and then I can select the edit account. The second option is I can go to all the way down and then here I can select this account tab here and then go to edit account. And the third way is right click and then select edit account. All the three things will work in the same way. And now I'm doing it using the right click. So here we can see the account number. Some of the information is already available. We want to change the name of this account as Riverbank Savings Account. So I'm just updating it as Riverbank Savings. Riverbank Savings. And the description is Riverbank Savings Account. The account number is 5 times 2, 5 times 3. And routing number is 599 22043. Once you have updated the information here, you can just simply say save and close, and our account is updated with the new information. So that's how you can add or edit any account in the chart of account in QuickBook. So now let's say if I want to delete any account, then I just need to simply select the account like the same way. Let's say if I want to delete this checking account, I can select it, then I can right click and then select the delete account. Right now I'm not doing any deletion because these all accounts have some balances. So I just wanted to show you that how you can delete any account. The next thing is if you want to make any account inactive, you can just simply select account inactive button here. So let's say if I want to make this account that we have just created as inactive, I can just simply select it, right click and make account inactive. As soon as I click this account as inactive, you can see that this account has become invisible for us. So that's how you can uh, like uh, uh, like hide, or you can say you can inactivate any account, but as soon as you make the account inactive, the account will be hidden. If you want to see all of your account, the hidden one and the account which are activate, you can just simply go here and then check mark this one, and now you can see all the accounts including the account which is marked as inactivated. If you want to remove inactivation, just simply check over it, and now this account will become again the active account. So that's the way you can add an account, edit an account and delete an account in chart of account if you are working with the banking. Now, our next topic is transfer of funds from one account to another. So we have to go to home screen one more time. We can do the transaction from there as well, but I just want to show you that let's say if you are on the home screen and you want to transfer funds from one account to another, so all the transactions that you can do with the banking are here. So you can see here, record deposit is here, reconcile is here, write checks is here, check register is here, print checks is here, enter credit card is here. So you can see that transfer of funds is not visible here, but because you know that you are transferring the funds in bank, so you can go all the way up, and in the banking tab, if you click it, here you will find transfer funds. So now we'll be learning how to transfer funds from one account to another. So let's say we have some balance in our checking account and we want to transfer that amount to savings account. So what we can do, we have here, uh, let's say we have to select checking account balance, which is this much, and we want to transfer these funds to our savings account. So let me select Bank of River Bank Savings, and I want to transfer, let's say, $1,000. So I'll be selecting $1,000 in this place. So you can see I just put the date, I put the account balance, like I select which account from where I want to transfer, and in which account I want to transfer. So I just only update this information, and system tell us that how much is the balance in the checking account, how much balance is the account where I'm transferring my funds, and here I'm updating how much money I want to transfer from this account to this account. So let's do this part. Let me make it only $100 so that we can do more transactions for the same account. So once we have done it, for the understanding that the date is 30th December 2023, the date is coming by default. But let's say if you are working when you're working in the real QuickBook, this date will be your present day's date. So once you are done with all of these information, like put the date, select the account from where amounts to be transferred, to select the amount where amount will be transferred, and the amount that you want to transfer. So you inform these for information, and then just simply say save and close, and transaction is done. So now, what we have learned in the past, that if you are trying to uh, like make any changes or something for the vendors or customers, you double click, you can make editing in this one. So let's say if you are in the vendors, and apart from, let's say you want to edit this ABC vendor, apart from clicking edit button and click edit vendor from here, you can also double click and go to vendor center. So I ask you that don't you can do that by double clicking, but always remember the thing which is very common, like using the edit tab. So why I say that, because right now when we are working with the chart of account, if you double click, it will open the bank statement. So let me show you here the chart of account. If I'm working with the, let's say, checking account, so exactly the same way, if I double click, it will not letting me edit something, it will instead open the bank statement for me. So that's why I ask you to always remember, if you want to add, edit, delete any transaction, always use the edit tab all over the top of the screen, and do it. So right now you can see we have done one funds transfer transaction from this checking account to savings account. We can see here the date is here, $100 is transferred. So that's how you can make sure that the transaction is done from this account. So there are other transaction as well. So if you want to search any of the transaction, you can always go to that date, and then you can find that transaction. So that's how you can uh, transfer funds from one account and another, and you can also see the transaction if you want to, using this double click. So let me do it one more time. If you want to see any of the account, just simply go to chart of account. Like if you want to see the statement of your checking account or savings account in the QuickBook, simply click this button, and then you can just double click any of the account, and that will open the bank statement for you. Our next topic is how to record the deposits in the bank. So let's do that part. So you can see whatever the transactions we are doing, either we are receiving through invoice payments here, or we are selecting the sale receipts. In all the ways, whenever the payments is coming, they are all received. Uh, all of them are actually piling up here, unless you deposit in the bank and then update it in QuickBooks. So whatever the transactions you are doing, like receiving payments and receiving payment at the same time, or by credit card or check or something, they're all piling up in this place. And when you are going to deposit in the bank, you have to come back and update it in our this record deposits, or you can update it here and print a report from here and deposit in the bank using that print report. So let's do that part. First thing is how to record deposit. You just need to simply click the record deposit button. It will tell you all the deposit that you want to make. You can also select a special type of deposit, like if you only want to deposit cash and check, just simply select cash and check, and then you can see all the payments that are done using the cash and check are available on this screen. let's say if you only want to deposit some of the transaction, let's say this one and this one, you can do that part. But if you want to deposit all of them to the bank, simply select all, and then all of them will be ready for depositing. Then click OK. Just remember that we have only selected the cash and check payments. So once you've selected it, click OK. And now you can see they are now visible here. You can print the report from here, like deposit slip or deposit summary from here. Once you print it, it will be ready for depositing into bank. So let me select here as save and close. Like I have already put everything in here. So I can just simply click save and close. Just in case if you find any difficulty or if you feel that there is a mistake, you can always close it. And then do you want to record it now? Say no. And now you are outside. And here you can see again the 17 pending transactions. You can see, you can again click it and then do the transaction. I'm just showing you that just in case if you are trying to like go out of the screen without doing the transaction, that's the way. So let's say I want to do a transaction. I want to do transaction only using that we have done using the cash and check. So I select it, and then I just make sure that once I select them all, my number is matching with my record, like the physical vouchers. And then you can click OK. And then here you can print the deposit slip from here. And once you print it, simply say save and close. And now the deposit is updated in your record. So we have some more transactions happen here. So you can see 6 transactions are still pending. Open it up. And here you can see some of the payment received by MasterCard, Visa, or e-check. So this is the time that you can make payment using these items. So you can just simply select all and then click OK. OK means execute the transaction and them all ready for depositing. And here you select which account to be deposited, on which date it will be deposited, and then just simply say save and close, and our transaction is done. So this is the way you can record the deposit in the in QuickBook. Our next topic will be our next topic will be to update the deposit. Let's say if we have earn some money from our business and we are going home, the amount is let's say $200, $300, and we want to deposit in our bank, then you can simply, once you update it in the bank, you got the receipt, and now you are coming back to your office, you're updating your QuickBooks. So simply you can click record deposit button one more time. And in this one, you can type your receipt from, let's say if you know that the person from who you receive the money, you can type it here. But if there is no person, it is not mandatory. You can go to the next account. Just make sure that you are depositing the right checking account, the date is correct, and you are depositing. And let's say if you don't know the people who give you this money, but at least you know that uh, what services you offer, like whether you repair their computers or did their let's say renovation of the house or something. So whatever you have done, like farming or gardening or something, whatever you have services provided to the customer, you can type it here. For this exercise, we are just selecting any of the amount which is, let's say we are earning by video editing income. So we can select the reason why, how we earn this money. We can type here. If you know the name of the customer, you can type the name of the customer, and then we can type video editing. If we don't know the name of the customer, let's say we went to any exhibition and we did face painting on the faces of the kids, and we were charging $10 from each of the kids. So let's say at the end of the day, I got some $200 and I want to deposit those $200 in my account. So I don't know the customer because I did it on many kids or many children, and now it's time to update it in my record. So how can I do that? I can type XYZ exhibition, right? And here you can type, let's say, face painting or whatever you want to type, and then you can go with the check number. If the payment is made using the check, you can type the check number. You can select the type of payment like cash, check, or whatever the way of payment was. So let's say we are going with the cash, and then you can put the amount as $200. It could be any amount, but I'm just making it this transaction. So now, without having the name of the vendor, sorry, name of the customer, we have created this entire transaction. You can just simply say save and close, and our transaction is saved. So that's how you can create the transaction in QuickBook, or you can say you can make like cash deposit into the QuickBook. Next transaction that we're learning is doing the transaction using the debit card and credit card. So first we'll be learning how to do a transaction using credit card. So if you want to do a transaction using the credit card, you just need to click this enter credit card charges button. You can see, don't get confused. We have two credit card options. One is in this place, enter credit card charges, and the other one is accept credit card. So there is a very big difference between the two transactions. This one, when you are accepting the credit card from customers, and this one is your company credit card you're using for buying the stuff that you want to buy. So just remember that, don't confuse with the two credit cards. This is if you are accepting payments from customers, uh, like if you are accepting the credit cards from the customer side, this is the place. But if you are paying your items, or if you are paying for your service, if you are paying for the things that you have bought, this is the credit card that you'll be using. So let's start working with this one. So you just need to click credit card charges, and then this screen is to show you that we are going with the either the purchase or the refund. Right now we are purchasing. So let's say we are buying some office supplies from Star Office Supplies. So we can start typing the name, Star Office Supplies. So this name is not in our record, so you can just simply click tab and quick add. So now this vendor, this customer is now, sorry, this vendor is now part of our, will become part of our vendor list. Why? Because previously this name was not there, and we are paying to this person. So it means this is the vendor. So you have to select your vendor, click OK, and now it's created. So now we are creating a transaction of Riverbank Visa. So select the bank, Riverbank Visa, and we are paying to Star Office Supplies on such and such date. Let's say the date is 11/18/23, and the reference number, if we have it, it's fine. Otherwise, we can continue with the regular numbers. Let's say 01, and then the amount is 8909. So here will be, as I said in the previous transactions as well, we can copy paste from here. Control C, name of the vendor, Control V, and then we can type here whatever we have done. So we, in this transaction, we are doing uh, office supplies and customer USB drive. Office supplies and customer USB drive giveaways. So once it is done, you can just simply click tab, and here comes the next part. So let's say this, it out of this 89.09, you bought partially the office supplies and partially your marketing material like USB giveaways. So you can type here, first thing is the office supplies. So you type office supplies so that you got it. And then let's say you spend $57, 57.84 on the office supplies. When you click tab, and then whatever the remaining balance is will come to the next screen. And here we will be using the rest of the item are about advertising and promotion. So you can just type here advertising and promotion. And here you can see this advertising and promotion expense is not part of our item. So you can just simply click tab, and then it will give you option of setup. Click setup, and here it's an expense. Click continue. Why it's an expense? Because you are paying money. So it's an expense. Select continue. and then you can just choose whatever you want. So the number will be for this transaction 64,400, and then the description is advertising and promotion, including customer giveaways. And once it is done, simply save and close, and this account is created. Say, and then in the last, just save this transaction, and we are done. So that's how you can do a credit card transaction. And in the next step, we will be learning how to return a credit card charges. So let's say you you bought some items from the credit card, and when you reaches your office, you realize that you buy something in error or by mistake. So now it's the time that you have to return that item. So again, you can always select this enter credit card charges one more time, and then previously you were purchasing, this time you will be refunding. So select the refund credit card, and then again the same vendor like graphic supply. Sorry, Star Office Supply, not graphic. Star Office Supplies. So this vendor, and then fee will be referring to the invoice we pay to this vendor by using the reference number 1. And this is actually the reversal of 1, not in full, partially, but yes, it's a reversal. So you can type R after it. And how much we are returning? We are actually returning $10, $10.46. So $10.46. And the memo is Star Office Supplies. You can type it here, and then return calculator, and we are done. So once you are here, if you see, we are paying two type of expenses for the Star Office Supplies. So here we can decide if we have bought this item under the advertising or the office supplies. So we know that we have bought it under the office supply. So we can just update the number here as well, 10.46, and then you can just simply say save and close, and that's how you can record the reversal of any credit card transaction. So now we'll be learning how to do with how to work with the debit card. So in order to do our transactions using the debit card, the process is exactly the same. If we are doing it for the transaction uh, wherein it's a spontaneous transaction wherein you are buying something and paying to the vendor, then you can just simply select write checks. And when you are writing checks, just change the number from 1 to DP. But let's say if you are paying a bill of your vendor, then you'll be selecting pay bills, and you are paying a bill by debit card. So you have to exactly do the same thing. Like you have to type here DB in the transaction. So let me open a transaction. So let's say you want to pay your Ricky's electricity bill, which is 125, and you want to pay this bill using the debit card. So you can select the date, and then you will be going with the check. Why? Because debit card is issued normally in the checking account. So you can see the check is marked already. So it means you'll be using this part, and then checking here, and then instead of selecting to be printed, we are giving this option when we have multiple checks to be issued, and we want to give the numbers, so we can simply say to be printed. But when we know that it's a debit card, so there is no need of selecting to be printed. We can simply say assign check number, and then we can make sure that it's going from the right account, and then say just pay selected bills. So once you select it, it will open the transaction for you. In this area, which is blank, you can just simply type DB or debit card or whatever your company is using, and then simply say OK. and now this transaction is done. And as this transaction will be appearing as debit card transaction, and then simply click done, and we are done and ready for the next transaction. So if we are going with the writing checks, like now we have to do a transaction using the writing checks, we can do in two ways. Either if we have a bill which needs to be paid, like using the enter bill and pay bill option, we can simply click the pay bills, and we can select which amount we want to pay. Let's say this one, and then in this area you will be selecting on which date you want to pay. Select the checking method or whatever you want to select, this one, or you can use the credit card. But right now we are going with the debit card transaction, so you have to select check, and then instead of to be printed you'll be selecting assign check number, because you'll be updating the check number as DB. And then you can simply say which account to be used, and then we can see here this $11 will be updated. So it simply says pay selected bills, and here you can see it asks us for the check number. We can give the check number here, let's say 1249, or whatever the check number you are working with in your company. You can simply type the check number and then click OK. Right now I'm not doing this part because I know that we have already covered this transaction for $50 in the previous session. But this is the way you just update the check number. The amount and the other details will be extracted by the system automatically, and then you can just simply say OK, and it is done. It's done. And then, so another way of writing check, just now I show you how to write the check while you are paying the bills. There's another way of writing the check. If you have a transaction where you are making payment right away, like it's not like you are paying after 10 days or 15 days or 30 days of the bill, rather you are paying right away, like a spontaneous payment. So what you can do, simply click the write checks option, and here you'll be updating the transaction. So again, you'll be selecting, so let's say I'm paying for a bill which pertains to ABC company. So I'm just making it up so that we can do the transaction. If I want to give the check number right away, I can give it right here. If I want to print it later, I can click print later, then it will become without the check number, put the date, and let's say I want to pay $100 to ABC company. And then the reason is, let's say, gardening. So you can type here like ABC. I can copy paste from here as well. And then I can type here gardening or whatever the service we have taken from this customer, sorry, from this vendor. And then you can simply say, I'm just putting here as maintenance, repairs and maintenance, and then simply we can say save and close. So you can see I just I just select the checking account, the date, and the purpose, and it's already done. Simply say save and close, and this transaction is done. So that's how you can pay your vendors if you have not created the bill and you are doing the transaction spontaneously. So instead of going with the enter bill option, you can just simply direct issue the checks from here. So that's how you can do the check transaction. The next thing we are doing is reconciliation. Okay, before going for the reconciliation, let's do more things. One is the print checks. So we can type and we can click the print checks here, and all the checks that we have created until now are visible here. We can check all of them to print, or we can just select specifically one check, let's say this one, to print. If I want to select all of them, we can just simply click select all, and then all the checks will be printed. If I want to pay selected bills, I can select none, and then I can start selecting, let's say this one, and this one. So you can see randomly I can select whatever the check I want to pay. Once I select the checks, I can simply click OK. So before doing OK, I know that we have done the last check number as 1250 something. So we can type here 1251, and I'm sorry, and then we can click OK. And now you can see the check is ready. You can just select what type of check style you want, voucher, standard, or wallet. Normally we go with the voucher style, click print, and it will be printed. So now you can save this check to your desktop, or you can just simply send it to directly to the printer. Like I have not selected the printer, I have selected PDF. So that's why it was giving me option of PDF. But if you select the option of printer, it will be printed on the printer. So we have learned how to write the checks, how to print the checks. The next topic is if we have received a payment from a customer and by chance the check is bounced. So we are working together with the vendors and customer transactions. When we were recording the deposits, that was customer's transaction. When we were paying using our debit card or credit card, that was our vendor's transaction. And now we are learning something again, which is pertaining to our uh, like customers. Why? Because customer gave us a check and the check is bounced. So now we are updating that part. So you can see we have the option here, like whenever we receive a payment, we are updating it in this area. So we have to find that transaction using the receive payment option. So click it. And so we are trying to find a transaction that we have done with a check. And now we come to know from the bank that the check is bounced. Means a customer gave us the check and the check was not honored. So again, because we have marked that transaction as receive payment, so we are clicking this button first, and then we can use these two buttons to go back like in the previous transaction or in the future transaction. So we are looking for a transaction of Lucy Cupcake that was of check number 341. So here we find it. The check number is 341, and Lucy Cupcake Factory is the customer who bought from us. So now we found out that we have actually uh, got the payment of $200 from this transaction. Now we want to mark the transaction as bounced. So very easy. Simply go up here, select to mark this transaction as bounced. So when we are marking a transaction as bounced, we got few information. One is how much the bank is charging us. And then when the bank is charging us, where should we update that amount? And the last thing is how much we'll be charging to our customer. So let's say bank charge us $30 and we charge our customer $40 because of some damages, because of this bounce of the check of the customer. So we charge them a little bit extra. And then you can simply say next. So it will tell you that this is the you can say snaps. So this invoice number will become unpaid. Previously it has passed as a paid transaction. Now it will become unpaid. Your checking account in the bank is marked as $200 minus, and your checking account is also marked with a fee of $30. So it means you have to update your QuickBook with the same thing when you are passing this entry. And then this invoice will be created for the fee you want to charge to your customer. So you'll be charging $40 because of any reason, like maybe because of the damages you are facing, or maybe because of the services you have given to the vendor, the customer. So you can charge the customer some fees and then simply click finish and all done. So now you can see the check that was marked as paid now marked as bounce check. So that's how you can update your bounce check entries in the QuickBook. The last thing remain is actually the reconciliation. So reconciliation is actually, if you see it's on your dashboard here, reconcile. But if it is not here, you can see it's in the banking. So you can go to banking and select reconcile from the tab. So both of these will work. So let's say I am only reconciling now for my checking accounts. I can click reconcile, and then here I have to give the date on which date I'm making it. So it's 31st of March. It has taken the month end of the last month. So you can see here, but let's say if I want to do it for 2029 or 23 or something, I can select the exact date. I can put here the ending balance, let's say $10 or something. Or once you do it, you can just simply, and this number will be the last year's closing balance. So it will be new number for the opening balance for this year. This ending balance is actually, we are working for checking account. So we are saying that whatever the balance, once we have issued the checks to the vendors, this will be our closing balance. So once you update it, right now I don't have it any numbers because I'm just doing all the transactions, dummy transactions without any data. So I'm just making it as $100. Then I'll see how much is the difference. Click continue. So now you can see all the transactions are visible here. Let's say if you want, and some of the transactions are done in 2021, some of the transactions are done in 2023, and for the transaction. So let's say if I want to balance the transaction, I can simply select the transaction that happened on or before 31st of March 2021. So you can see there are two transactions happened. One is a $20, the other one is $30. So these two transactions happened in 2021. So let me do one more thing. If I only want to see the transaction on this date, I can select it, and then you can see the only transaction is $100, and it is coming as difference. Why? Because there is no number that makes this one zeroize. So we can also do the thing which is as per the exercise. So we can go with with the transaction. We can select manually, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So let me go with the transaction only happened on September, and then here we can ignore them all, and here is the difference is 505. So let me see. So I can see that whenever I'm selecting anything, system is giving me error because I did transactions randomly without having any data. So that's why whenever I'm trying to do something, system is giving me error. So this is it. So I can see that the distance is 330. So it means, let me update it here, reconcile 430, continue. I'm just trying to balance, so don't get confused. Let me record it because I'm trying to find a number through which so which I can balance it. So based on the transactions, I got that I have ending balance will be minus 230. So once I have this balance available, I can put this amount in the ending balance, and I click continue. So what I did actually, this is the date of the transaction. The amount is here. We are talking about the checking account, like we are reconciling the checking account. Simply say continue, and here you will see the balance will be zero. The difference will be zero. Once it is zero, you can simply say reconcile now, and whatever you have done will be updated. So in the next one, that the account will be starting from the ending balance, which is now the 230. So it continues. So here you can download the report, either the summary or detail, or you can download both the reports by clicking print button or click display button to save it on your desktop. So you can do that part, and once it is done, you are ready to submit this report. Always remember that you need to make sure that your reconciliation report are always saved in your desktop or PC, or you have kept a backup of it somewhere, or you have taken out extra printout of it. so that when the auditor comes in, they will always ask you for the reconciliation report, and it has to be ready when they are visiting. So once it is, this is all what we have to cover in the QuickBook banking. Uh, I hope that this will help you in doing your daily working, and please let me know about your I suggestion if you have any to improve the classes, so that I can make sure that next time you will be having more interactive class. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next class. Thank you. Bye bye.